salutations, and welcome to the Rant Squad. I am the Water Dog. This is
Jordan.
And this is
Bernard.
And we are going to give you our fantasy standouts. And right now, as we look at the standings, Brendan is still on top with a massive lead. He's got 21 points. Clint's getting a little bit closer behind. He's at 16, so only 5 points out. I did cover some ground. I picked myself up 3 points because I did pick C.D. Lamb. He was the top wide receiver, so I was the one that got the top pick. And so I'm at 11 points.
Well, hold on. We haven't subtracted. We haven't done your penalty because everyone, I would like to point out that last week, Mr. Kelly Lyons picked Anthony Richardson as his #1 quarterback. Y'all saw it. And in his dynasty league, he has Anthony Richardson. He did not play Anthony Richardson. He could not put his money where his mouth is. You should not trust him. I think we should penalize him for negative points because I'm sorry, but you can't do that. So I said my piece. I just wanted to put it out there. It doesn't matter who he played. Yes, he had Patrick Mahomes. He played Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes has been a terrible fantasy quarterback all year. But to pick Anthony Richardson as your #1 quarterback, you have him on your team, and you're telling the people to play him, but you wouldn't play him. That's wrong. Moving on.
You're in third place. You go.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No, I think -3. I think -5.
He's still in third.
I don't care.
I never
Or do this show for the people.
on my league, I never change my studs. And it's a habit I've gotten into, and I just
No.
whoever your studs
Can't trust him.
Your
Don't trust
stars are
anything he
playing.
says.
If you have to choose between Anthony Richardson and Patrick Mahomes to start for your fantasy team, who do you choose?
When you say Anthony Richardson is going to be the #1 quarterback,
We're saying when we're making predictions as a
Doesn't matter.
possibility.
No,
Well,
doesn't matter.
there you go. So
All right.
I would trust.
I've
you.
said my
You feel
piece.
better? Brendan, who you got for IDP?
For IDP this week, I'm kind of going something I've never done. I'm going to take a defensive back. This week, I'm going Jesse Bates versus Dallas. And I can easily see him getting an interception this game. He normally gets a lot of tackles from that safety position. So I think this could be a big game for him. Kind of not going with the TJ Watts and the Luka Kwons and all of them. I'm going Jesse Bates.
All right, Clint, who you got?
hey Brendan, can you read who I've got?
Jesse.
Jesse Bates.
I got Jesse Bates against the Dallas Cowboys. I think he's going to get a pick 6 off Dak. I can't change it. I'm with you. This week I was like, man, I want to pick a defensive back. And I started looking, and I said, man, what are the odds? Brett, we're just going to roll with
We
it.
haven't even seen each other's numbers.
No, we're just going to roll with it. It's meant to be at this point. What are the odds we both take the same IDP, man? From the same, I love it.
All righty. Well, I'm going to go with Andrew Van Ginkel. I'm going to go with him. He's going to be playing against the Colts. And he's been probably the big standout for the Minnesota defense. The Minnesota defense has played very, very well. So
He's always in the right place at the right. I don't even think he's that great of a player. He's got a nose for the ball.
and sometimes it's all that it takes. And so I'm going to go with Van Ginkel this week. So that's what I've got. Let's go to tied in. Tied in. Brendan, who you got?
So at tight end, I really don't want Clint calling me out next week saying I'm putting my money where my mouth is. So I'm going to take Travis Kelce versus Tampa Bay this week. It seems like they just kind of found their connection. I think last week was a really big game by him. You know, I don't know if he's going to have that big of one. You know, you never know. But I do think Travis Kelce could be the tight end one this week versus Tampa.
All right, Clint, who's yours?
So I'm picking the starting tight end from what I think will be the highest scoring game this week. I think it's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles and the Jaguars. I think Evan Ingram is the best tight end to play. Since he came back, he's on fire. Him and Trevor Lawrence had that connection. And y'all, they lost Christian Kirk for the year. Brian Thomas looks like he's going to be out 2 games. That means you lose your top 2 wide receivers. You got Gabe Davis, but he's questionable. You don't know if Travis Etienne is fully healthy. I think this is going to be a large firepower game. Doug Peterson is going to want to play well against these Eagles, and I just really like Evan Ingram, man. It's like he's the last man standing.
Yeah, I just kind of feel bad for the Jaguars. That's just.
I don't feel bad.
I do. I feel bad. They
Yeah.
just. I just feel bad for them.
They make millions of dollars. I don't feel bad for them.
I'm going to go with Tucker Kraft. I think the Packers are going to have to throw the football. They're going to have to try to catch the football down the middle of the field against the Lions defense. I think it's going to be a very high-scoring game because the Packers are going to have to score points, and for whatever reason, Kraft has a way to get into the end zone. So I'm going to go Tucker Kraft, Green Bay. That's going to be my guy this year. Let's move it. Running back. Brandon, who you got?
I'm going to go Derrick Henry. He's taking the same play every week. I'm going to go Kyron Williams versus the Seahawks. This week, I think I picked the Rams to win it, and I just think, he's going to have a big game.
Hey, he's been the second most consistent running back on the year behind Derrick Henry.
Well, no, I can't pick Derrick Henry every week, or I'll get called out for picking the same way.
Hey, I'm telling you, I can't wait till next year. I got some fun changes for this game.
All right, Clint, who you got?
I like a guy that's really had a couple of really good games. Last week, he kind of had a bummer game, but I like Breece Hall against Houston. Jonathan Taylor had 2 games, both went over 100 yards. I think the rushing defense isn't as good, and I think this is a desperation game for New York. It's a short week. Generally on a short week, I feel like you rely on what you do well, which is get the ball in Breece Hall's hands. He looks like the most dynamic running back once he's got the ball. I really like him this week.
I've been looking at things. I have not taken Saquon Barkley all year. I have not taken Saquon Barkley all year. They are playing a battered up Jaguars team, and I just think they're going to beat the living crap out of them.
I hope so.
I'm going to go Saquon Barkley in the running back position. Wide receiver, Brendan, who you got?
So at this position, I think when you look, they got some tough matchups. Really, all your projected top guys. I'm going to take Jamar Chase versus the Raiders.
Oh, that sounds like a Clint thing.
Man, I almost wanted to. I really did. I almost wanted to dip back into that.
I think you've
well.
taken Chase 3 times, haven't you?
Maybe. I like it. I
We're
joke.
not picking the same players, so come on now.
I don't know if I've taken him 3 times, but I took him last week. Trust me, I want to take him because I like it. It's a great matchup against the Raiders.
I think the Raiders have a very good kind of like rush defense, at least watching the game. I don't know statistics-wise, but watching the game they do, I could see where they could get the ball down the field offensively, Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And he's really a big play target. Him and Justin Jefferson, you just look for a 75-yard touchdown, 1 catch.
You can't.
They're those kind of players.
I think it's going to depend on if they get T. Higgins back because I think this offense clearly, once Philly made adjustments this past week, they were clearly hurting without having the number 2 option.
Okay, Clint, who you got?
Again, we talked about we think they're going to beat the living crap out of them. I think it's going to be the highest scoring game of the week. I like A.J. Brown. Last week was the Devontae Smith week. Brown looked good. He had 5 receptions, I think. He had something like 80 yards. Just didn't find the end zone. I think this could be a 2 or 3 touchdown week for A.J. Brown.
Really?
I do. That Jaguars are number 32 against the quarterback. They're number 30 against the wide receiver. A.J. Brown has yet to have that game where he just shows why you can make the argument he's the best pure wide receiver in the league, and I think that's this game.
Okay, I'm going to go with Drake London. Cowboys suck. The Cowboys have absolutely no defense, and Kirk Cousins has been lighting it up here over the last few weeks, and that whole Atlanta offense has just been lighting it up. But I think this is the week for Drake London. It was a Kyle Pitts week last week. I think it's a Drake week this week. And so they get the Cowboys at home, which I also think is big because Atlanta does play better at home. And so give me Drake London. Quarterback, Mr. Brennan, who you got?
So I'm not going with those really top guys. I'm going to just take a note from my page last week and go with who I just think that week is going to be. That's going to be Jaden Daniels versus the Giants. I think this Commanders offense is really good. I think he was a little hurt last week, as we all know. We know he's going to play till Friday, which is why I picked against him. And pick him because we didn't know if he was going to play. But we know he's playing this game. It's the Giants. Give me the Commanders to really blow this game out, and he's going to get a lot of fun.
All right, Clint, who you got?
I'm sticking with my stack, man. Jalen Hurts. I think he's going to be QB1 back-to-back weeks. Like I said, this offense is starting to flow. Now, what worries me is this a trap game? Does Doug Peterson is he extra fired up this week? Is he telling his players, I need you to win this one for me. We need to really get after it. It could happen. This could be one of those games that's probably slow scoring, but I just don't think it. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, that connection.
I like Jalen over the A.J. pick because I think Jalen's going to probably have a couple of rushing touchdowns. I think they're going to run the football more with Jalen. I think they've been slowly giving him more carries and giving him fewer passes.
The big difference between last year and this year is last year it came out at the end of the year he was hurt. That's the reason that he was taking the running 1 yard and sliding. This year he's not. He's back to doing what he did that year they went to the Super Bowl.
Alrighty, I'm going to double up just like you. I'm going to go Kirk Cousins. I think Cousins will have a 3 touchdown game against the Cowboys. And so I think, with that going on, I think that's what's going to
You
happen.
want to make another dessert bet?
Y'all love the
What's the
stacks.
desserts?
What's the stacks?
I love the stack.
No, I'm saying
Absolutely.
y'all love the stacks. I don't know if it's worked this year.
Well,
But and also another problem is because then if you lose one, you lose both.
it is what it is. Y'all can give me a chance to
give a
double or
dessert
nothing.
bet?
Yeah, double or nothing. Kirk Cousins is in the top 5 quarterback this week.
Kirk Cousins isn't a top.
Isn't even a top 5 against that Dallas defense.
I'll double up on
So
dessert.
what is double dessert?
So he'll owe me 2.
He'll get
Gonna get 2
He'll
Sundays?
get an
Yeah.
extra scoop
I
on
get- I get-
his
I get
thing.
an
extra scoop.
We're doubling up for dessert, baby.
Folks, that's all we got time for, man. We appreciate you watching. We've been the Rant Squad. I'm the Water Dog. This is
Clay Jordan.
This is.
Jordan Norton.
We out of here.